Good afternoon. My name is Jerry Bowling, and my topic today is going to be emergency management. My course of academic study is emergency management through Frederick College in Frederick, Maryland. Correspondingly, I'm also finishing this semester a degree in fire science. All right, emergency management. Before we talk about emergency management, let's talk about a current event. Current event is happening right now that involves emergency management is the catastrophe in the Gulf of Mexico with BP. How is emergency management being used, and what is it? Well, before we go there, we have to talk about Homeland Security Presidential Directive number 5 and number 8. Number 5 was implemented in 2003 by President Bush. And basically what it was is a directive that implemented interagency operability to correspond with natural disasters and emergencies. And it was brought on by the Oklahoma City bombing, and that was man-made, but catastrophes and tornadoes after that. And then with the response of 2001, September 11th, the interagency operability study was found, and it really wasn't coexisting or working. So President Bush implemented HSPD number 5. Number 8 also corresponds with number 5. It's also a companion, and basically that is a national domestic all hazards preparedness goal. All right. And this is where all agencies come together to respond to an incident. And this gives us the framework for the National Response Plan. 29 CFR 1926 is an OSHA standard, and this OSHA standard specifically relates to the construction industry. All right, and that's the emergency response and procedures for construction within emergency preparedness within the construction industry. 1926.65 is what we're under now, and that is emergency preparedness response to hazardous material releases. And that's definitely what the oil and the disaster is a release. So now we can define emergency management, and that is a dynamic process of preparing for, mitigating, responding to, and recovering from an emergency incident. 4 phases. This goes in a cyclic cycle. Each industry, government, local municipality, and township, any form of government that has a response or a need to respond, or the construction industry has to respond, is required by these directives that we just mentioned, the HSPD 5.8 and the OSHA CFR, to implement preparedness, mitigation, response, and recovery. Prepare, you identify what the potential hazard is. Mitigate, how do we fix it? How do we prevent it from happening? Respond, who's going to respond? Who's going to be in charge? How do we have interagency operability? Recovery, how do we recover from that event and move on within the community to life as it should be? Then the preparedness starts all over again. And this works in a continuous cycle, and this develops the incident action plan. The incident action plan is taken from all of this resource and built, and then it's rehearsed, and it's rehearsed, and it's rehearsed. Emergency Operations Center, local responders, mitigate the event. Current examples. A bad example, 2005, Hurricane Katrina. This was implemented in 2003. It's a 5-year process. It takes a lot of coordination and effort. 2005 hadn't really happened yet. The response, the incident action plan was implemented. It didn't have the interagency operability, and therefore, by today's standards, it was a failure. Current event, May of last month, Nashville, floods, success, implemented their incident action plan by using the 4 phases of emergency management. They fixed themselves. Yes, the federal government came to the rescue and delivered money and aid, but only after the state of Tennessee fixed the problem themselves and the local residents. So that is a dynamic success. Current event, oil disaster, HSPD 5, CFR 1926. The National Incident Response Plan under HSPD number 8, 1 incident commander for the event, and that is the Coast Guard Commandant that you see on the news every day. This is working. The slow response is the bad example. The slow response is from the corporate side. The federal side is working, ensuring, providing oversight, doing the right thing, keeping the community informed, and organizing and orchestrating. The problem is the corporate side of the equation has not quite been held accountable to these standards right here. So this has to be looked at and will be addressed in the after action review of the event. In conclusion, I feel everybody should have a grasp and a concept of what emergency management is within your community, because you never know if if you live on the coast. Here in Georgia, it's hurricane season. All right, we just saw the tornadoes that went through and ripped through Oklahoma City. All right, these are all emergencies. Emergency management plans are enacted for each of these events. Go to FEMA.gov. It'll talk about emergency management and explain a little bit more in depth what it is to you. Google emergency preparedness checklist. With this checklist, you can build a plan at your house, at your home, for your family members. Should an event happen, you conduct all 4 phases that we talked about: preparedness, mitigation, response, and recovery within your own family household, and protect your family. EMI, it's Emergency Management Institute. It's a free website from FEMA that you can take classes online for college credit if you like. If not, it is good information for your house. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for listening to me. Good day.